Greetings, this is Brother Cliff again of the Free Church Home Church Network, and I want to talk to you today about the letters to the churches in the book of Revelations. It's very important to read these because it tells us a lot about what it takes to be saved. And Jesus is speaking there, so you can't really argue with Jesus. And what he says is, he says in all of these letters, there's 7 churches, he says, you must overcome. To he that overcomes, and then he makes promises to them. He says, and in Revelations 3:5, he says, he that overcomes, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot his name out of the book of life. But I will confess his name before my Father and the angels. That reminds me where Jesus also said, if you deny me before men, I will deny you before my Father. And so, this is a very important truth for us to understand, that there's things that you have to do. You have to overcome. Notice that he says, I will not blot your name out of the book of life. So there's some people who are saved. They got their name written into the book of life, but then it got blotted out because they turned against the Lord and they did not overcome, and they took the mark of the beast or something like that. And then he also warns in chapter 2, verse 15 and 16. He warns about those that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, and he says, which thing I hate. And then he commands him, he says, repent, or else I will come quickly and fight against them with the sword of my mouth. So there are those who, the Jezebel spirit and the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, have crept into the church and lied to Christians. And what is the doctrine of the Nicolaitans? It's basically this: you can still keep on sinning and go to heaven. And that's what they were teaching. They claimed to be Christians, and they were teaching that false teaching. So when anyone preaches that to you, that is the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, and it's a lie of the devil, and don't let them take your soul. And he says in 2:5, he says, remember from where you have fallen, and repent and do the first works, and or else I will come quickly and remove your candlestick out of its place unless you repent. And for many of you Christians, you need to follow this advice. Remember from where you have fallen. You've fallen into some type of sin that is pulling you away from Jesus. So remember where you've fallen from, and make sure that you actually repent and reject the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which says that you can still sin and go to heaven.